is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin IT podcast. Jack, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Glad to see another day.
Yep. Always fun, especially when we have things just releasing on all platforms. We're gonna be getting to that in a moment, but first, uh, um, we're gonna start with something that happened. And Shadow Fox, he's not here yet. Y'all know how he usually rolls, but gonna start off. Gonna start off with this one, and this topic is because I want to say last week, Shadow Fox had a tweet about um, Nintendo being able to purchase Valve without the use of a loan.
Right.
And there was a couple people in there saying that he was spreading misinformation. So what I wanted to do is actually show everybody where you can go to find this information at, because I went to two different sources. So let me share my screen out right quick, because I really want y'all to see this. So here is macro trends. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so on macrotrends.net, you can see that Nintendo's cash on hand for 2022,
Mm.
15.227 billion. Yes, that is a decline from 2021, because in 2021 they had 16.37 in cash. We're not talking about other assets, straight up cash.
Right.
That's 15. Y'all see that number, right? 15. Okay. Let's go over to my other one. And this is going to be the Bloomberg site. Now I'm going to show you what Bloomberg says, okay? So now Bloomberg I had to go to so I could find the Valve one, because the Valve one, for some reason I couldn't find too many other places. But Valve was valued at 7.7 billion in May of 2022. That's what they're valued at. So, and this is on Bloomberg.com, if you want to know. So I show that to say this: it's not out of the realm of possibility. Now, of course, I don't see Nintendo ever doing that.
No, that doesn't make sense.
I don't. That really doesn't make sense. Because one, I think Nintendo's one of those companies that actually wants gaming to thrive, not the other way around. So, but they do have money. Nintendo has cash on hand. So
Right.
for everybody that wants them to go third party, and I was laughing about that in the eighth generation when IGN and Game Trailers and all these other gaming sites kept wanting them to go third party. They tried to shift the narrative to so they need to go third party. They need to go third party. During then, they had, I think it was 10 billion in cash.
Yeah.
They weren't in a situation, because everybody likes to bring up the Sega situation. When they went out, that's because they had like 3 consoles back to back to back.
Because like, even if they had a situation to where, let's say, they had the money, they had already ruined their reputation at that point. Like, there was no coming back. The fact that the Dreamcast was as good as it was, and people were still like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. You can't keep releasing console on top of console on top of console. That's wild.
Yeah, it was nowhere near the same scenario, because before the Wii U, the only other one that was a true fail was the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, and we understand why. But
yeah, we understand that. But like the N64, yeah, it didn't sell as much, but they always made a profit. Yep. GameCube didn't sell as much, but it made a profit. It would make profit. Even the Wii U made profit. So that whole situation where they were trying to push that narrative, which was, to me, was hilarious, because it was like anybody that was following gaming was like, dude, no, they don't need to go third party. I mean, number one, the 3DS is still killing it. And it's not like Nintendo has two Nintendos, Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo Wii U. It's Nintendo. So they're not, it's not the same situation. I just found it funny.
Yeah.
But it's easy to find if you want to look up how much they're worth. They're not in a situation where, where they have to worry about cash. Nintendo is. Anyway. Right. So if they wanted to buy some companies, I'm pretty sure they could. They're not. I don't see them doing that, because the only one I would I would think they would do, they're not going to do, and that's platinum. That's the only
So
one I would think they would do, but they're not going to do that.
me too. So now let's say, just hypothetically speaking, Nintendo just decides to start smelling themselves and buy Valve, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they would even get out that ordeal?
The only thing I think of is a better storefront.
Yeah, because I don't foresee Steam being involved. I
Yeah.
don't foresee any of the intellectual properties being involved because they really don't have any really right
I
now.
mean, the one everybody keeps talking about is Half Life, and we know that ain't going nowhere.
It's not. I mean, like I said, granted, here's the crazy part. I think it's more of the name than it is anything. I think Half Life kind of crept into that realm of you took too long to release a 3, so now it's so big you can't meet those expectations. Because
Yeah.
even with Half Life Alex, as great as that game is, one, most people can't afford to even get it. But then two, even when you do have the ability to play it, I mean, it's not what people are into right now. Like VR is not a household thing right now.
Yeah, they're still trying to find that one or two um, games that's gonna propel it to
Which
what
is crazy because I think they have them. It's just
it's just not hidden.
well, I think it's a matter of when you think about gaming, right?
Yep.
If I told you, hey, look, where do you want to play games? You know, either I'm going to go to console route or I'm going to go to PC route. It's pretty simple. You know, you don't have to worry about it. Same thing with movies. Okay, I just go to any theater. It's very rare that a movie is exclusive to a theater, like AMC. But when it comes down to VR, you're really flirting with the idea of one, knowing what you're getting into, two, even setting up the experience depending on which one you get, and then three, will the game come? Because right now it's a toss up of like, okay, cool. If you want the best headset that's available right now, that's the index. But do you have the space? Do you have the PC? It's a plethora of things you need. So it's hard to even get into that market. So even though Half Life Alex is an amazing game, you're talking about $1,000 plus headset. Plus you need the space and possibly $1,000+ PC. So for one of the best games on PC, and you're talking about over $2,000,
Yeah, most
nah,
people gonna be like, "Nah, we ain't doing that."
exactly. So that's
Like,
why
see how
Beat
much
Saber is
gas
winning,
is?
right? So like even that's why like Beat Saber was winning because not only is it simplistic, but it's also on a platform to where you can just turn it on, put it on your head, and play it. It's that simple. And then now they've got it to the point to where um it's a thing called side quest where you can side load things. You used to need a PC for that. Now, if you got an Android phone, take a USB to USB and just do it that way.
You good to go? Okay,
Yeah. So, and now everybody plays custom songs on Beat Saber. They don't even do the DLC no more. It's like, oh, custom songs now.
makes sense.
Yeah, it's never going to take off until you have an ability to just say, okay, this is the game I want, and this is where I go to get it. Everybody's still on this Facebook is watching me thing. It's like at this point, if you're involved in any technology, you're being watched. I'm sorry.
Bro, I be laughing at that because I'm like, y'all do realize that y'all just went and got like the iPhone 13, right?
And
I
that's what
rest my case.
I
I
don't
rest my
I don't
case.
understand. Like, and it's crazy because developers are getting on board with it. I'm gonna be honest with you because there's a game that's supposed to is getting ready to come out on the Quest 2, but they're not putting it on the Quest store. You have to get it by other means because they don't like Facebook's practices.
Yep.
I'm like, so, but you're gonna put it on their platform?
Like it makes no sense.
Hey.
Hey, Mark Zuckerberg. People don't like Mark Zuckerberg for some
Which
reason.
I don't understand. He has nothing to do with your life. I promise you, that man don't even know you exist. Like,
he really don't. He really don't. Like you are not rich.
no.
Why would I know you?
You're not in that man's realm at all.
Yeah.
He can walk past you tomorrow and would not know who you were.
Yeah, not even bad nine. So yeah,
So
I've always found that to be funny because I've had those conversations with people because of the field I work in, and I'm just like, we all be sitting back laughing because we just think it's hilarious. You're like, yeah, I gotta make sure y'all don't see none of my stuff. I'm like, you got a social security number, dude.
all right. I don't know. I think I don't know where this idea came that hey, look, if I do this, I'm safe. I don't know.
somebody been watching way too many Bond movies,
Way
but
too much. We too
but
interconnected right now, like way
yeah,
too interconnected. You've lost that battle already.
yeah, yeah. So, man, just if you think you're being watched, give them a good show.
Exactly. Mhm.
Just give them a good show. But okay, so I do want to talk about one thing that I thought because I do like Halo. I like, but I like the story. I don't really care for the
Oh, I
multiplayer.
was like,
I don't really care for the multiplayer like that. Look, if you like multiplayer, hey, by all means, hey, hats off to you. Me, I don't really care for all that. But
mm.
um, so Halo and 343, there's some issues now.
That's an
To say the least.
understatement.
To say the least.
Jeez.
Uh, but okay, so the big thing now is they couldn't do split screen.
Right.
Okay, so hear me out. I thought y'all had the most powerful system, the most powerful hardware.
You know,
It's
I,
kind of like it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I'm not a developer. I'm not a developer, but it sounds like it shouldn't be a problem if you got the most powerful system.
I, to me, okay. So I saw the same argument, right? And I'm like, at some point, it's got to be 343. To me, I don't know who made this new engine, but whoever made it need to be fired. I don't. How do you make a multiplayer, like make an engine specifically for Halo, and you don't have split screen?
Well, here's the thing, and this I think this goes back to I think it's a mix of 343 and a Microsoft issue.
Yeah.
Because remember with Scalebound,
Yeah.
Kami has said, like, look, this is a single player experience. We're building this game as a single player experience. Microsoft wanted multiplayer.
Yeah. Exactly.
They couldn't get it to work because it wasn't designed to work like that. Those dragons were
Yep.
freaking huge. They were not designed to be you going at somebody.
Right.
So I think it's a mix of Microsoft and them. Now the other thing too is, like you said, with the engine, like, dude, people have been begging y'all to put split couch co-op back in the games.
Yep.
So if they're begging you for that, when y'all were doing the project planning for Infinite, that should have been the first thing on there. Okay,
Yeah.
we got to make sure that this is coming. The other thing too is, and it's not helping, is their path, their development path out. When they released that, I'm like, and you heard some of the people on the team pretty much say this ain't on us.
Yeah.
That
like no,
y'all gotta be on the same page. 343. I mean, like, so it's a mix of things, and I think the real issue is the management portion. But I do think also that it's a mix of Microsoft and 343.
it's gotta
Microsoft
be.
basically saying do it this way, and 343 being like, okay, we're gonna do this, but we're gonna promise y'all all this, but we don't know if we can do it, but we're gonna promise it to you anyway. Like, it's one of the things I have a problem with when we get into our Ubisoft discussion. I'm gonna bring up, but it's one of those issues that I have. I'm like, just stop promising stuff if you
Yeah.
know you're not working on it.
Exactly.
Stop promising stuff. That's the whole part of being transparent. Just stop promising stuff. Just be like, look, we're gonna be. If you want to give people an update, give them the true update. Don't promise people stuff and then, all right, where is it? Yeah, all right, where is it? Oh, well, look at our path going forward. Where is it? Hey, man, look, we ain't got nothing to do with it. This is Microsoft, man.
And I wonder how that's working now. Like, who are you appeasing at that point? Is it one of those things of like, okay, let's have a conversation about what needs to be added because I saw this successful game have it.
Yeah.
So now this game has it. Our, I don't know, the investors are saying we gotta have it. So to get them to shut up, and they don't really know the time frame of how this stuff works, let's just throw it out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's getting worse. Like I thought eventually this stuff was gonna fix itself over time, but it's getting worse. Like we're getting promises about games and content and all this other stuff that just never spawns. And
Well, it's one of those situations where I think it is kind of like because once again, and people that are in the gaming community, y'all know this. Gaming is still very much niche. I mean, hell, we just had DJ Vlad send out a tweet
Oh yeah,
basically decrying people that game, bruh.
I just saw that.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
like, he ain't even worth my time and attention.
Mm-mm.
But the problem is, while gaming has grown, it's still very much niche. You still get looked down on for your hobby.
Yeah.
So it's one of
Mm-hmm.
those situations where investors and people with billions of dollars to invest came in and like, this is a good place so I can make me some extra money.
Right.
Do you game? No, I don't give a damn about no damn game. I'm here to make me get me a yacht at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So put the game out.
Well, that's
But it's not ready to go. Put the game out.
right.
you know.
And that's the one thing. Like I'm looking at this too, and I understand what you're saying because that is what's happening. My thing is, if I have to go to those type of investors, then I might need to scale back some stuff.
Yeah.
Because at this point, if I can't fund my own project, maybe I don't need to be doing it. And it's
Or
a reality.
the very because that's the thing because I remember when Destiny first got discussed and they were talking about how it was $500 million. I'm saying like no game should be $500 million to
No
make.
game.
Because gaming ain't like the movies. Like
Right.
the movie industry, yeah, they can make you can make a $275 million movie because you may make that back in the first 2 weekends.
Right.
You may. Um, Now that don't happen for everybody,
Right.
as we know, but I'm just saying that you can do that with a better sense of getting your money back. Gaming has never been like that. Where
No.
gaming has been, you usually make your money over time, and now we've gotten to a point now where so many games come out a month, and it's really ridiculous. If you
Mm-hmm.
sitting up here and saying you ain't got nothing to play, you a lie. I'll leave it at that. You a
Yeah.
lie because there's something for everybody, every genre, at least 10 times over a month,
Exactly.
at least. Because there's a couple games I have not picked up because I am busy playing Xenoblade right
Yeah.
now.
Yep. And I just jumped on
And Ninja
Splatoon, so I
Turtles.
really ain't touching nothing.
Yeah.
But to me, like, if I was an investor, I get what gets shown. But if you really want to know what the money makers are, it's the ones that don't look all that graphically impressive. You got Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite. Those are the money makers.
Yep.
So, and COD is about the only one that's up there that gets graphically like on the graphical prowess like that.
And even
But
that is not making what it used to make.
not what it used to. No,
Yeah.
because and my thing is this is like the fact that one company made Minecraft and that thing is expanding into so many different spin-offs, so many different genres, and it's still going. Roblox, same thing. They're literally Roblox is what business is now in regards to gaming. We're going to give you stuff and you make your own game. You work for us. That's pretty much what it is. And so I don't know. Like, I don't know. I didn't think we would get to this bad of a point with graphics and updates and stuff. Like, it just didn't make sense. And like, I understood it back in the day to where, okay, yes, it's about time to update, especially with our TVs and everything else. Like, it made sense. But now you trying to keep up with movies, and I don't get it. Because even looking at Last of Us Part 1, the remake, the next
remake of the remake of the remake.
right, like with that coming out, every time I look at Sony, and this is no bash from Sony by any means, they're great games if you like them, and I can understand them, even though I don't like to play them. I can understand why people like them. I think they would have fared better as movies.
Yeah,
like, I think
that's what they were supposed to be.
That's why I feel like that. Yeah, because I mean, think about it. If this came out as a movie first, and then you came and dropped it as a game, I think you would have fared better. But I never understood these games being games first as movies, and then trying to do TV shows and movies after the fact.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I will say this: everything you wanted to say back in 05 is coming true.
Yeah,
said you ain't gonna be able to sustain it.
No, they're not gonna be able to hold up. It's not, and that's the sad part because no one's seeing it. Like, no one's doing anything about it. They're trying to just keep up. Man, I don't understand. Like, Microsoft, I understand where they're getting ready to go. We all see where they're getting ready to go.
Yeah, we know what they're doing. Like,
right.
Yeah, and to be completely fair, the way Microsoft is, I don't think it was never their intention. Because number one,
No,
Nintendo and Sony ain't their competitors. That's not
no,
their competition.
not at
To
all.
if you understand, Nintendo and Sony were never their competition. Their
Never.
competition is Amazon, Apple, Google, all three of which have gaming things. They have gaming. But they have some sort of games division now.
Yeah.
Hell, even Netflix has a game division. Ain't that
Yeah.
good? But they have a game division.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the people that Microsoft worried about. They ain't studying. Well, no, they're not studying Nintendo. That's why they could give Banjo Kazooie and Smash and let them get the N64 game back. They
Yeah.
don't care. Why
I
the hell
think
do I care?
like think about this. Like if we look at all three and we say, okay, who's your competition? Microsoft ain't competing with Sony and Nintendo. Sony's not competing with Microsoft or Nintendo. And Nintendo's not competing with Sony or Microsoft.
Well,
So
Sony's trying to keep up with
they're
Microsoft.
trying to keep up, but they're not even in that realm.
Yeah,
Like they're not
which
even
is what's
close.
costing them. That is
Right.
what's costing them. And Nintendo's just like, okay, we'll just be over here in the corner just making money.
Right. That's why I was like,
bread.
I believe that tweet was like Nintendo's gonna hold out and they're gonna be the last console maker. Like because Microsoft's gonna go cloud. Yeah. God only knows what Sony gonna do. And then Nintendo's gonna still be on consoles. Yeah. And I think to me, and this is a little out there, I think we're going to eventually get another hat in the race. But I think that's when Microsoft fully goes cloud. And I think Sega might make another attempt. I think they might try.
Sega, I think if it is anybody, I think it should be Sega because Sega ain't, despite what people want to believe, Sega ain't a bad company.
Yeah, they're not. No,
they're not. Did they screw up in the 90s? Yes.
Yeah,
because they did get a little ahead of themselves. They should have when they had what was it, Sega CD. They probably should have stuck it out.
But they should have rolled that out. Yeah,
they didn't. They should have went from Sega CD to Dreamcast because that's basically where they were going anyway.
Because there was no reason for Saturn. Like there really wasn't.
There wasn't, and like if they would have did that, they'd probably still be around now. Well, on the hardware side.
Yeah.
But because once again, when it was Sega, Nintendo, and Sony, gamers ate good.
Oh yeah,
gamers ate real good. When Microsoft came in and they was like, "Hey, EA, here go this blank check. Just give us some stuff."
Yep. I don't know.
Play it here first.
Right. So now, do you think? Okay, now that we're PC's in a weird space right now for me. Like, yeah, you have the PC gamers that go and get the big rigs. They want everything decked out, 4K this, the whole nine. But now people are really gravitating towards these handheld PCs and the nature that, yes, you can still dock them. Most of them don't upscale, but some do. But you could have your handheld one. Do you think we're looking at a possible PC console-ish thing going to where now like that's going to be the next hat in the ring?
If Steam Deck continues to gain popularity, if they find a way to increase that battery life, because I've heard that's been a main complaint.
Yeah, that's a big issue. Yeah.
That if they continue to do that, then I can see that happening. The only problem would be is what if Nintendo bows out of the handheld thing completely, if they go back to like strictly, they don't do a hybrid, the next one is strictly home, then I can see a couple of people, because there's already more handheld ones than you think.
Yeah. That's a lot.
But the problem is, and I've said this before, I know people don't like it when I say it, the Vita was a very good system.
It was amazing.
In some aspects, it was better than the 3DS.
Yes,
the
it was.
only reason why Nintendo beat it was because Nintendo knows to stick with what brought them to the race.
Their audience, yeah.
So they're like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Y'all got a good system. That's awesome. Throw Smash Bros. On there. Dude, we love what y'all doing. Throw another couple Mario games on there. And people, you throw Animal Crossing.
Right.
Pokemon, and you just made all your money anyway. You don't really need, and then everything else is just cherry on top, which is exactly what they were doing. Like when they re-released, I Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, when they
Mm-hmm.
released Kid Icarus, when they released shoot, they even had Street Fighter 4 and Dead or Alive
Yeah.
on the 3DS.
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
just cherry on top because they stick to what they do. Now, Vita, I think Vita would have done well, but by this time, you gotta remember Sony had already gave up on first on exclusive stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Because if they would have still had Jack and Daxter and still wanted to do Sly and Ratchet Clank, they would have been smart to make some games for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. I think they had the hardware. They just didn't know what to do software wise because at that time they were campaigning that no one wanted to play console games on handhelds,
which was not
which
true.
which was stupid.
Yeah, which was not true. Because
But
if they would have saw what they were doing with PS3 when they were doing the what was it their version of Smash,
mm-hmm.
um like dude, people were doing that.
Yeah,
They would download to the Vita and then try. The problem was it wasn't as seamless as they tried to make it seem
yeah,
because it wasn't. I trust me, it just wasn't. Um, okay, RJ, all right. I understand what you're saying, but I think that decision was made because they didn't know if Shin Megami was gonna sell like it did.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
If Shin Megami doesn't sell like it does, it's you. I can understand why that decision was made. It's still a stupid decision. Don't get me wrong. It's
Very
a
dumb. Yeah,
dumb decision, but because you want to maximize your money. So if you're maximizing your money, then yes, I'm releasing a version on the Switch, and on top of that, Atlas already knows how to use the Switch because
yeah,
they've put games on it before. So clearly, it shouldn't have been an issue.
yeah,
But I kind of understand if uh if Shin Megami Tensei 5 didn't do as well as it did because once again that's another niche type game and everybody ain't on it like that. So I can't understand that.
I think, and that's the biggest issue with Atlas because that whole franchise,
Yeah,
they don't treat it in any kind of way to where you would really count it as a household name
yeah.
because they really had it in a way exclusive to Sony, and
Mm-hmm.
then they had their little spinoffs that would go to 3DS.
Yeah.
But really, when you really break it all down, you have what Shin Megami Tensei, you got the Devil, what was it, the Devil Survivor or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. You got Soul. I mean, Soul's been around, but
Mm-hmm.
then you got what Digital Devil Saga.
Just
You
Devil
got
Saga, yeah.
Persona. Like it's too much. Like pick one and stick with it. Like I understand why they do it because I know some people like the Soul Hackers because you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to do the whole school thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know where Atlas is going with this. So I mean, even then, with it not coming to Switch, do I think it was a dumb idea? Yeah, it was very dumb. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Something tells me it's coming later.
Yeah,
But
they gotta get 140 million sold before
yeah, I think it's
the
coming
game makes a
later
good run.
because honestly, we haven't heard anything about Shin Megami Tensei 5, have we?
Other than it past like what was it the million and
The
a
million
half
marker?
mark? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the last I heard about it, and that, I want to say that was what a couple months ago.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, because I think they're on their way. If I'm not mistaken, I think they passed two. I think.
But those games don't typically sell well anyway.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, because it was when they sold over 1 million. It was the last time I heard about it, and that was back
Uh,
in May.
right.
That's when the figures came out. Back in May was when the figures came out.
Okay.
Apparently, they sold it back in June. It passed it in January, but they talked about it in May. 'Cause I guess that's when the quarterlies came out.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
that's when they did the whole celebration thing. But yeah, I understand. I can understand the soul hackers thing because you really kind of you don't know, but at the same time, I do understand. I understand that that is a dumb decision because I would be trying to maximize as much money as I can, especially um if I've worked on that system before. That's why I don't have any sympathy for Namco Bandai because I'm like, you can't tell me y'all can't come up with something for the Switch. You can't tell me that.
Right.
There's no excuse that there hasn't been a Tails game. There's no
Yeah.
excuse there hasn't been a Soul Calibur game. Although After playing Soul Calibur 6, thank you for not putting that on there. There's no excuse for not having a Tekken game when you had Tekken Tag on the Wii U. Like you can do it. It's just a matter of, do they feel like it's gonna sell? And like one of the things that I've hated, especially as far as like Dragon Ball is concerned, you have them come out saying, "Oh, this game can't possibly run on the Switch." 80 million units later. Oh yeah, this is on the Switch. Y'all gonna buy it?
Yep.
No, I'm not gonna buy it. You said it couldn't run. So I bought it on the Xbox, or I bought it on PlayStation, or I bought it on PC because you said it couldn't run. Oh well, y'all just didn't want it. No, you didn't want to put it on there.
Yeah.
And when you decided to, I had already paid for it. I'm not paying for it 2 and 3 times.
Right.
So I think that's an unfair assumption that gets passed because they like, oh well, we got it on there now, and they just don't like third-party games. That's not true.
No.
People have already bought it on another system, and some people just be like, look, man, I'm not going to do that.
But my thing is this too. I don't pay attention to the console war whores that's out there.
Yeah.
But when you look at it as a developer, or you try to look at this in an unbiased way, if you came to me with a version of your game, even if it's not graphically on point, if you're taking stuff out the game, why would I buy that version?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense to me. Like it is, and that was the main issue with Wii U in itself, because they were taking things out of the game. It's not that the mode couldn't function. It's just they took out the damn game. So they made it an inferior version and then complained that we didn't buy it. So, but some of us still bought it though, just because you said that if we bought it, you would bring us a real version or something. Yeah. But this stuff never comes to fruition. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, like when I look at Atlas or any of these other third-party developers, I get it. You want to go for the most popular in the sense of social, not actual economics. Is like, okay, I want to go with the most socially, graphically like superior device, but really no one's gonna buy them either way, because PlayStation has let it be known, all PlayStation players have let it be known, we want Persona. We don't care for anything else. We just want Persona. And Shin Megami Tensei, it's been gone for a minute. And then when you talk about digital Devil Saga and all these other things, like no one cares about those games. I'm sorry, they don't care. So it is what it is. You be happy that you have Persona. Be happy that was successful, and just run with it. But don't leave it exclusive to Sony. That was very stupid.
Yeah. What is up, Andre?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah. We're just going through some of the funness around on all platforms except Switch. So UbiSoft Forward.
On all platforms.
Yeah. So now we did do a live reaction yesterday, so please watch that video when you have a chance. If you're watching this on Twitch, please go to the YouTube channel. You'll be able to see it, because I don't know if it's still on Twitch yet. Still working on that, by the way. But yeah, we do have it on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't had a chance to watch our live reaction, please, by all means, give it a shot. It was a fun time for an hour and hour and a half?
Yeah, a little bit over an hour and a half.
Yeah, a little bit over an hour and a half. So Jack, you have not watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm gonna say is it's on all platforms. Please check out our Ubisoft Plus subscription service.
And be ready for an onslaught of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. By the way, if you don't know, it's Assassin's Creed's 15th anniversary. Yeah. Y'all like this? Y'all like this Mario Rabbids gameplay we just showed y'all? Don't forget, this is Assassin's Creed's 15th anniversary. Did y'all just see Skull and Bones? Skull and Bones is tight, ain't it? Don't forget, it's Assassin's Creed's 15th anniversary.
They did that?
Trust me. I mean, look, they both listened and didn't listen at the same time.
Yeah. So, and don't forget, you can go to Ubisoft Plus to go on and pre-order Mirage, even though it's not coming out till next year. Do that today. I'm like, they did it like twice.
Pre-order it now for an undisclosed release date next year.
Yeah, they did that twice. But once again, was it horrible? No, I've seen way worse. I've seen way
It
worse.
definitely it wasn't a horrible show, but the fact that the term on all platforms and a lot of Assassin's Creed came up, it was just like,
Yeah,
eh.
yeah, and they are finally going to Japan, but they
We
have a
don't
code
know
name
when.
for it. Yeah, they have a code name for it. It's called Red, but the problem is it's gonna be a flagship title, which means it's not going to mobile or anything. And I promise you that game is probably not coming out till 2026 at the earliest.
Okay, so even then, this is me personally. I think it's a little too late because now you have games like Ghost that did it already and may have done it better. Because I got a feeling Ubisoft is going to find a way to mess this up.
Oh yeah, they definitely will.
Yeah, and it's ninjas. And my thing is, somebody in our chat yesterday was like, "Why don't they just bring back Tenchu?" I'm like, you know what? That's a good question. Why don't they just bring back Tenchu? At I will say this. I am looking forward to Mario plus Rabbids. I'm probably not getting it at launch though, because like once again, we are in a weird timing in gaming because there's just too much stuff coming out.
Way too much.
I am a budgeter. I'm not a baller. So
right.
I'll probably get that later
down the line. Budget.
Yeah. The gameplay does look good. To be fair, because the level that they did show was a very good level. It looked fun. It kind of reminded me of the opening of Bayonetta 2, where you had to fight that thing on the train. That was actually pretty cool.
And there was some clear King Koopa disrespect in that video.
Clear disrespect. Clear disrespect. So only thing I really want out of that game is an awesome
Mario diss track.
Yeah, I just need another Mario diss track. This time, we had the operatic version, so I don't know where they go this time because Tom Fan is hilarious. So there's that. But most of the stuff on the Forward was a lot of mobile. It was a lot of stuff that they have giving out updates for, like Riders Republic and all of that stuff. But the Assassin's Creed stuff, while I like the CG trailer they showed for it, but once again, it was a CG trailer, no gameplay. And then they said they wanted you to pre-order the special edition of a game that doesn't have a release date, but is 2023.
What? Why? Why?
Because this is what gamers want, dang it. I have to brag.
You don't know what it is.
Why would I pre-order something I don't know what it is? That makes no.
I asked everybody who pre-ordered Death Stranding and freaking what was the other one? The space game that I'm now somehow forgetting the
Starfield?
name.
No Man's Sky?
Not Starfield. No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No Man's Sky, literally, you didn't know what was going on in that game when it first released.
That game, in some shape, form or fashion, still kind of makes my ass itch a little bit because the simple fact that game came out unreleased and then won an award after they fixed it.
Yeah.
Like, they blatantly lied to you, and then because there's bad, we'll put it in there. And then now it's I think that's what's about to happen with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's gonna start winning awards. What's about to tell you?
Oh yeah. Because there's no way in hell Jeff Keighley will make sure Xenoblade Chronicles 3 ain't getting no damn game of the year. I promise you. So
running.
Yeah, Brand made a good point, and we said this yesterday. They got Assassin's Creed and The Division to run on mobile. There is no excuse. But people will say, well, they need to do this. And I'm like, no, dude, there's no excuse.
Dang.
There ain't one.
And on top of that, they're doing Rainbow Six on mobile.
I saw that. All right. Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you can make a colorful version of Rainbow Six and stick it on mobile, but you couldn't? He's a little skeptical of that.
Yep, which is like I said, it's completely understandable. It's just to me, it's just funny. It's just funny. So you want to know what else is funny to me? That Nintendo decided to delay the September Direct that they didn't talk about because of the Queen's death. People don't fall for this mess. All right, do not fall for. Nintendo didn't even say they were doing a Direct, and you got people saying, "Oh, they've decided to delay it because of the death of the Queen of England." Like they didn't.
But yet
But
Ubisoft
did an event.
Ubisoft went ahead and put their Forward out.
All right.
They're much closer to the region than Japan is.
They're literally in France. It's like
they right next to them.
Right next to them.
So if anybody would do it to be them, so Nintendo just gonna be the honorable one today. All right, y'all got it.
But Nintendo never said there was a Direct coming. People are actually believing these people that are saying this. I'm like,
hey.
Wait,
Nintendo also didn't tell you that Metroid Prime 4 will be at any of these events, but yet it's their fault it's not there. You know what? Look, that's what I tell you. I have a little contact with human beings on social media. It's not good for your health.
But it's funny though. It's funny though because you sit back and you're like, nobody can be this stupid. Yes, they can. Apparently.
Oh yeah.
So the rumor got delayed.
I'm like, but the problem was Nintendo never said there was a Direct coming.
Never. Well, typically they do one in September. They typically do a lot of shit. It's just like, I mean, they gonna do it. Like,
I'm gonna be real about. Let's be real about these Directs for a second. All right, that was Iwata's baby.
Yeah.
And as much as I love Iwata, he ain't around no more. I mean, God rest his soul. You got a whole different crew running Nintendo. They probably don't even care about doing that.
I'm surprised they're still going because I thought they were going to stop doing them after a while.
That's what I thought. But I think it's cheaper to do those when you have those game shows like TGS and E3 and Paris Games. It's cheaper to do a 45-minute Direct than it is to do a full-on conference. So they may keep them for that. But like what we was getting, like what was it, every 2.5 months? We ain't getting them no more, dude. I don't think we're gonna get them no more. Like we'll probably get game focused ones. Like there'll probably be one for Bayonetta because that's a big game.
Right.
We got one for Xenoblade. We got one for Splatoon. We'll probably get one. I don't think we'll get one for Breath of the Wild for some damn reason.
Not until the game releases.
Not
until the game releases and they got to do a string of videos telling people how to do simple shit.
Yeah.
No, that's gonna be for Metroid. I promise you, if Metroid Prime 4 drops and David Jaffe says something, Nintendo's gonna be back on that petty.
Look, I don't even think he'll go in that realm.
Let's be honest, Nintendo's still on that pettiness. They ain't gonna be back on it. They're just gonna continue it.
Right.
Yeah, basically. But I mean, that's the thing. That was Iwata's thing, and like that's why we had so many. Because I swear, like back during the Wii U era, you got a Direct damn near every 2 months. You got something.
Well, that was also because people kept saying stuff wasn't coming out for it. That was the only way to let anybody know.
Yeah, but it was way more. Even though Nintendo didn't have any games, how many times we hear that mess? But they always had something. They were showing you something. But that was, I think, that was Iwata's way of saying, you know what, game journalists, since y'all want to always mistranslate us, since you always want to tell us what we doing when we ain't tell you nothing, we just do it ourselves. They think they're like, fine, I'll just do it myself. And literally, that's why you have IGN claiming they love Nintendo now.
No,
even though they definitely curb stomped every bit of the idea of any love for Nintendo.
Yeah.
During
but if you ask them, no, we were never like that.
My thing is,
I would just like IGN to tell me one thing. Do any of you know that a game released for the Wii U like last month?
No, of course not.
Of course they don't.
But my thing is this though. This is why I stopped paying attention to IGN. Any platform that starts off with, hey, we don't hate Nintendo, we love them, we've been playing them since we were kids. Okay, yeah, you done lost me, because if you can't even bring up something recent, like as into why you love Nintendo, no, just because you started off as a kid don't mean anything.
When you took an entire generation to pretty much bash them and try to get them to go third party,
right?
And then when you got called out on it, magically all your videos disappeared.
I mean, hey, if anybody's going to push anything anywhere, then shouldn't we push, a certain company with Mario as the mascot to purchase a certain company that doesn't know how to use the number 3?
Wow. Hey, look. Hey, they said we making our money elsewhere. We ain't gotta worry about it.
Dark Void, it was mostly Colin Moriarty, Brian Altano, Greg Miller, and Chiesa McDonald. Oh, and Damian Hatfield.
And a certain person who gets mixed up with Adam Sandler, who shall not be named properly.
Yeah, we're not gonna name him. But yeah, that was mostly due to those.
I don't understand how you play with this gamepad. It's so clunky. Like, you bullshitting motherfucker.
You lying, but whatever.
Kick you in your semi-bald head and knock the rest of the hair off.
It was mostly due to those people. So yeah, and then that's why it was so funny when Shuhei Yoshida called them out to their faces. It was so hilarious, and then you can just see the moment that their heart just sank.
They just broke.
Yeah, he called us fanboys. Yeah, because y'all are.
They are.
But the problem that didn't help them is that they did a 2 to 3 hour long.
It was a 2-hour
podcast.
It was a 2-hour podcast the next week.
To say they weren't. I was like, why did y'all even do this?
That just made it worse.
Yeah.
That's why they deleted all those videos. They was getting rid of receipts.
Yeah, that's why I laughed from a good, healthy place. It was a good, healthy place.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it was just those kind of situations, and that's why I kept bringing up like earlier this year. I'm like, do y'all realize the Wii U has been trending like for a month, every month for like 2.5 years?
Which is wild.
It's just like, what in the world is going on? I was like, I thought we hated everything about the Wii U. I thought we hated backwards compatibility. Now we love backwards compatibility so much, but y'all hated it not 5 years ago.
I'm telling you, it's all about competition.
They hated it when it was free.
Yeah, they hated it when it was free.
I said it's all about that competition because we seen it with every generation. It's like, okay, well, we hate this, we don't like that they're doing this, and then once the winner is announced, then it's like, oh, well, they had these great games. Let's tell you about the top 10. Like, but you didn't hear nothing about it at the time. So why do you? And that's why it always confuses me. Like, why is Nintendo not re-releasing GameCube games? Why is it not on the online service? You didn't buy it. Like,
why?
That's exactly why.
I don't get it.
You don't get to dictate. You didn't buy. You don't get to dictate. I mean, look, I get people want to see an F-Zero game, but let's be 100% honest with ourselves right now.
Yeah.
Because Metroid Dread exposed a lot of people. A lot of people's claim, I'll buy a Metroid game. Nintendo just make it. Nintendo makes it. This too hard. Yep. Wait a minute. You said you played the game. You said you love the series. I'm telling you, if they drop an F-Zero game, if you can't play Fast Racing Neo or Fast Racing Remix or any of them Fast Racing games, why are you trying to play F-Zero?
Thank you.
Fast Racing is easy compared to F-Zero.
Yes.
Well, Fast Racing also plays more like Wipeout than F-Zero. And if you can't play Wipeout, you are not touching F-Zero.
No.
There. But you keep seeing people, I don't understand. Because what was that guy that bought all them shares in Nintendo to ask them why they won't make F-Zero? I bet his ass ain't never played it.
No.
Not at all.
That's all. Like when Nintendo dropped it on the N64 online, I'm like, they should show those numbers. Because if a lot of people ain't playing it, then that's why I wouldn't even bring it back. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
You're not gonna buy it.
The messed up thing is the people that are actual fans of the series, like myself, are the ones being screwed.
Yeah. But I don't get mad when they do this because I understand. I understand business. Like, dude, if we can't make any money off, we can't just keep making it. This is a business, not a charity. And I understand people that say, well, there are games that are free to play. Yeah, but you have to buy all this stuff on the back end.
Yeah.
I agree with Wilton there. The F-Zero GX story mode was difficult as a bitch.
But they say they love it. But they say that they
But
want
they
that back.
don't. It's a list thing.
Yeah.
It all comes down to like the same people that were crying about, oh, Nintendo doesn't tell us when we're getting Super Nintendo games online or the NES games, or they're not putting the ones that we want on there. But then when they finally put the ones you want on there, they were like, okay, well, what's next? Like, y'all just looking for a what's next. Y'all
Yeah.
don't really care because, like you said, if Nintendo was bold enough to say, hey, look, here's these numbers for Nintendo Switch Online. Y'all motherfuckers ain't playing nothing. We're not releasing nothing else. Like, people will be like, oh, shoot, like Nintendo had to call us out. Well, I played it, so now, all right.
Yeah. That's another thing because I remember when when me and Shadow looked at the numbers for Nintendo Switch Online and people saying that like nobody's buying Nintendo Switch Online. I'm like, dude, they got like 40 million people signed up for this. So there are a lot of y'all lying. But then again, I've told people that because I've seen people who say they will not purchase the online for Nintendo and they're on Mario Kart and Smash every weekend.
Yeah, so you gotta have it. It's not
You
like
gotta have.
that.
Well,
I mean, look,
I didn't pay for it. I paid for the friends thing. Me and we all pitched in. You still paid for it.
You still pay for it. I mean, either way, it's still no matter which version of it you purchase. For a year's worth of it is still massively cheaper than both Microsoft and Sony's.
Exactly.
Facts, because I just dropped Sony's. Facts.
Yeah, I dropped.
I'm not playing it, so I dropped Game Pass. I'm keeping just because, and y'all know
it's the best rental service in gaming. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, look, everybody already know that y'all watch this podcast. Y'all know why I get my Game Pass. It's my rental service. That's how I rent games.
Yeah,
it's Game Pass. I use it as a rental service. But other than that, yeah, that's what it is. And yes, Metroid Dread is easier. That's why it's so funny when you hear people who complained about, oh, well, if they just made a Metroid game, I get it. And you're like, why are you complaining about it? They made it. Why are you complaining about it? Well, this is too hard. They need an easy mode.
Wait a minute. Then they made it. They made easy mode for the easiest 2D Metroid they have ever made.
Yeah, because
think about that.
The Super Metroid was unforgiving, but then again, that was a different time in the game. That's why a lot of us old heads, when we hear something about Dark Souls, we start laughing at people like, play Concentrated Alien Wars, then come back to me.
Yep. Go play OG Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Come back and talk.
Come back and talk after that.
Or play yourself. Dark Castle. Play not Dark Castle, Dark Tower. Play DuckTales.
Play Lion King. Play Lion King.
Play Aladdin.
Shoot, if you don't break your controller, you have more patience than most people.
Hell, let's even take you back and say, hey, go play a game like Magician Lord.
Yeah. Like games we had to play, and like it wasn't like we got like 30 games a month.
Right.
Wow.
You got that game, and that was the game you got for like 4-5 months. They weren't pumping games out like that back then. They didn't start doing that till what, 6th gen?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 6th gen was probably when they started pumping out games a lot.
Yeah.
Even the 5th gen, they weren't. You pretty much got games in the spring, summertime, and then you got games in the holiday season.
Right.
There was whole stretches
then you get little indie games in between if they can.
Mm-hmm.
And or if you got Electronic Gaming Monthly, you get the little demo pack, the little demo CD in it.
Yeah.
You get the little demo CD. But other than that,
you want to know what I think the difference was back then. Almost all of the games there were a lot of games releasing, but it was a lot of games releasing for PC. It wasn't a lot of stuff releasing to consoles back then.
Yeah.
Right.
And now that everything's nearly homogenized, the same problem is happening on console with an overabundance of stuff.
Yeah. So that's the guy. He bought like 40,000 worth of stock and asked Nintendo why they didn't make F-Zero. I'm like, y'all didn't buy it.
The fact that you got that kind of money to blow, it's already crazy.
But here's my thing: if he had the time and money to spend on that stock, why didn't he look at their IR reports?
Yeah, because he would get them. Because
he would literally get the reports, and all of the information would be right in front of him.
Yeah,
right.
Like he'll get the stuff that. But then again, if he does that, he can't legally say anything because once he does, because you can't talk
I
about.
mean, he can't. He can say something that everybody else already knows. It didn't sell well.
It didn't sell well.
That's like hard to figure out.
But he can't like go into like detail because that's
right.
the other thing. That's why I always tell people it's not a. I don't like talking about sales just because we don't see what the investors and the board see. We don't see that. Like they see an itemized thing of everything, digital, physical, even all other projects that go along with it. So yeah. And yeah, Wilson, you are absolutely right. It probably would.
Oh yeah.
It probably would.
Hands down.
People wouldn't show up. Like I said, and I use Metroid Dread as that example because it's the perfect example because of I heard it as a Metroid fan, I heard it for years. I'm like, I love Other M. Does Other M have problems? Yeah, it does. But the fact is Nintendo gave people exactly what they've been asking for. They wanted cinematic, they wanted
voice acting.
They wanted fully voice acted. They wanted a 2.5D straight up action. That's what you got. And I still think Team Ninja deserves a second shot at it. But the problem is they didn't realize what kind of character, what kind of game Metroid is.
Right.
It's basically a horror game. It's supposed to be sci-fi horror. She's by herself.
And anytime you find anybody else in Metroid, they are either dead or dying.
And let's be honest, sometimes she's the one that killed him, but we ain't gonna go into that.
But I'm talking about the remains of other bounty hunters, like in Super Metroid.
Yeah, like you'll find them, but yeah, they on their way to the gates. So I mean, it's one of those situations, and then to have David Jaffe just destroy his own career like that, and Nintendo to be. You know what? We was trying to be nice. We really did. We was trying to be nice. You know what? You chose violence, and they just dedicated a whole tutorial video to him.
Oh, they damn sure did, because everything he complained about is what was covered.
I was just sitting there like.
And I do agree with Brand Smith there. He said the articles will be predictable if a new F-Zero was announced. Is F-Zero worth $60 and 20 blank blank?
Yep. Because they said the same thing about Metroid Dread. I'm like,
that game is worth more than it costs.
Yeah.
A lot of them are. To me, like I said, when we did the episode on your channel, Andre, about F-Zero and how Nintendo could bring it back. Like they could do a lot of things. To me, honestly, when I saw like on YouTube the other day with Disney's Expo, when they were talking about the racer that they have coming out, it's getting to the point to where like racers have to evolve at this point, the arcade racers, because everybody's doing the same thing and they're following the formula of Mario Kart.
Copying Mario Kart.
Yeah, they just copy Mario Kart. Man, the thing is, like, you don't have the leeway to do that. Like Mario Kart can release damn near broken and people still gonna go buy it because of the name. But the thing is, like, once I think Nintendo's gonna have to push it forward. But even with F-Zero, like F-Zero is gonna be one of those things to where the only way it's gonna sell is one is advertised properly, and then two, they put an easy mode. That's the only way it's gonna sell.
Yeah. The bad thing is F-Zero has its easy mode. It's just still difficult.
Yeah, I'm about to say you're gonna have to get like a easy.
You're gonna have to have a race assisted mode.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna have. You're gonna have to. Like, I can't fall. I can't fall off the track. Like, that's what you're gonna have.
Mario Kart actually has that in there.
Yeah, exactly.
They have it in there. It's like
they're gonna have to do the same thing.
And to be fair, to be completely fair, Rainbow Road sucked. So if anybody,
listen, Rainbow Road in any game that it is in sucks.
Yeah, so
yes,
I completely understand why people be like, "Look, man, I need some assistance."
It sucks in F-Zero. It sucks in Mario Kart. It sucks in Super Mario 3D World. Yeah, it sucks.
It just sucks. So that's pretty much Nintendo being like, "Oh,
it sucks in Super Mario Brothers. I mean, Super Mario World." Yeah, that's how bad it's.
Like, dude, that's basically Nintendo saying, "Oh, so you think that you know how to play this game?" Okay.
Rainbow Road is you are the peak of the peak,
Yeah.
So you better do good here. Yeah. And if you ain't,
you're gonna get exposed. You finna get exposed if you are. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those situations. I would I like to see F-Zero come back? Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Would I go out of my way to get it? No, because I like my fingers.
Exactly.
So see, I would be the one to put myself through the torture. I already know I would.
Yeah.
No. But I was like, my eyes already too bad as is. I can't keep up with it.
I can't. Not nowadays. But I
start off that game perfectly fine. Come back with carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your hand just be like this, just like you can't open it all the way out. Yeah, so I mean, I would love for it to come back, but for it to come back like it needs to come back, let's be real. Like gamers nowadays ain't gonna play it. Nah. They're just not. They're gonna complain it's too hard.
Now unless it's a game loaded full of DLC.
Yeah, and
then they'll get it because they'll think it's a flex to purchase DLC.
Yep.
Yeah, which it really ain't, but whatever. It is what it is.
Oh, but I know how to perfectly advertise an F-Zero game too. Damn.
How would you advertise it?
Just like it was just talking about, like put somebody down in front of a switch, give them the Pro controller, have it in a dark room, and as soon as they turn the switch on, this couch and everything that they want just zooms off. Okay. By the time it stops, they're completely frozen in place, like they just like stuck with their hands in a position they can't move, and somebody's trying to get the controller out their hands so they can play.
Yeah, that could work. That could work. I can see that working.
Let it go.
Yeah,
but because now that I think about it, I would let Shinin make it.
Yeah.
I would let Shinin assist with making it because again, fast racing is more like Wipeout, and I don't want an F-Zero that's Wipeout.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And you wouldn't know the difference unless you played it. Like you have to, because I mean, I remember playing Wipeout and then going to F-Zero, and I was like, these are two totally different games. Yeah.
Now, if you want
like that's like people thinking they could play Extreme G and then hop over to F-Zero. And it was like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you wanted an easier F-Zero, play Extreme G.
Yeah.
That's way more.
The messed up thing is Extreme G had weapons and stuff in it that you could.
But that's what helped me win. That helped me win.
Mm-hmm.
So
F-Zero was still harder.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, it's so much. Like, and to be fair, Nintendo has so many different IPs that they can pretty much pull at any time, and I think they would actually, especially some of them, like Kid Icarus. When Kid Icarus came back with Uprising, as much as people want to complain about the control system that they had to use, that game was so much fun that nobody cared. Yeah, like the people that were complaining about it, they pretty much got shamed online. Everybody still was loving the multiplayer because the multiplayer was just fun to play.
There were people that they bought the Circle Pad Pro, just to play that game. Like, that game was amazing because I remember I ended up getting a Circle Pad Pro for Monster Hunter, and then end up playing a game behind it. And they was like, "Oh, how can you play the game?" I was like, "I got this accessory," and they said, "Oh, okay, it works." Like, let me go get it. Like, I don't know. Nintendo finds a way to work out their little quirks here and there because honestly, that accessory should never exist, but it works for its purpose.
Yeah, it does what it's supposed to do. Yeah. And to be fair, like Kid Icarus was supposed to go to the Wii.
Yeah, it was supposed to
move it over.
Yeah,
but that's why if there's one game I would love to see if they could actually port it over, it would be Kid Icarus Uprising because I think that one could actually work depending on who does it. Because I think Rizzo or Panic Button could do it, but as far as porting it, but because you just have to make it. The flight parts are basically space area, basically.
Yeah.
And the ground parts probably the parts you probably have to like tweak up a little bit more just because you need to depend on what weapon you're using. But like I said, I think that game was fun. The story mode was hilarious.
Right.
With Hades was funny. And Cree Summer as Medusa. Yeah, yeah, we don't. Yeah, we'll leave that alone. But yeah, I love that game. I loved Kid Icarus Uprising. So that's probably one of my favorites. But before we get out of here, I do want to ask y'all this: should Nintendo put the GameCube on the Nintendo Switch Online, or should they just sell certain games as remasters?
Remasters.
Andre?
I would say yes to either option. Just depends on what they're trying to do. But if they honestly, if they want to make money off of it,
Right.
they're going to run with the remasters.
Right.
Plus, on top of that, is people might forget that GameCube games did start running into gigabyte territory, so that would take up a lot of space.
Exactly.
But the majority were less than half a gig because of compression.
Yeah. Now, what games would you like to see though? Because me personally, there are a couple games that aren't Nintendo's. They're like Bandai's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a couple of them that are like I would love.
Bison Katos.
Bison Katos, and I would love to see like Tales of Symphonia, but especially since they had already did the HD remaster, they just gave it to Sony. So I would love to see them do like Tales of Symphonia. I would love for them to do Skies of Arcadia.
Yep, that's mine.
As far as like the ones that aren't, Nintendo. Now the ones that are Nintendo, I need that Star Fox Adventures on Dinosaur Planet. We already got Wind Waker, but I wouldn't mind seeing Melee, even though I know people would bitch, gripe, moan, and complain because they take that wave dashing out. Boy, they'd be mad as hell at that. But I would love to see Melee. I would love to see Mario Kart Double Dash.
Thank you. Yeah, that one.
Eternal Darkness would need to be on there. And the thing about Eternal Darkness is because I know people have been like wanting to see that one, that could actually re-inspire interest. Because I know Dennis Dyke tried to get a Kickstarter going for it, but people just don't trust him. So
with Eternal Darkness, that would have to be fully remade. That would have to be remade.
That's one of those ones that you can actually. Yeah, but that's one of the ones you can actually use that to gauge the interest about moving forward with a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of it. And yes, Chanel's Soul Calibur Soul Calibur 2 has to come. That's that's not negotiable.
That is not negotiable whatsoever. Oh yeah, Billy Hatcher, yes.
Billy Hatcher. Yeah. Beautiful Joe, like we always mention, has to come.
No, fuck that. The full Beautiful Joe collection. Because Capcom needs to do it.
Even the ones that was on the PSP, like they need to come.
Yes, the whole collection.
The whole collection.
What else was out there?
Oh yeah, Def Jam, the Def Jam games, and the Street games, the NBA Street games. Come on,
I'm not even get my hopes up.
He ain't gonna let that happen.
No, they ain't gonna let that shit happen.
Right now, he ain't trying to get any money they can because they got all them lawsuits. They trying to get any money.
They're still not going. Look,
they still not gonna do it. No.
But
they don't have Tiburon though, right? They don't have Tiburon,
no,
so
they don't.
No.
Yeah.
So they don't have nobody to do it. Not for real.
Yeah.
Because honestly, to me, I feel like if EA was really serious about anything outside of Madden and FIFA, that they would already be talking about a new Fight Night. And the reason why I say that is because of that boxing game that's getting ready to come out. They're really making a lot of leeway with that game, and it's very close to releasing. They've gotten a lot of contracts signed behind that game with a lot of fighters. I feel like EA would be dying at the bit to release a Fight Night behind that, but we know EA ain't gonna do nothing.
No.
Nope.
Well, like I said, right now they still trying to pay off the NCAA and that whole Germany fiasco.
Oh yeah,
that's why they wanted somebody to buy them. So
I mean, hey, maybe if they hadn't screwed up all those Star Wars games.
Yeah. But there are a lot of games on the GameCube. Like that's why I was saying, like the 6th gen was the best gen by far. As far as
I got a couple more.
Okay, what you got?
Geist, most definitely, because that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Was Time Splitter on GameCube? Was Time Splitter on GameCube?
Yeah.
Time Splitter was on GameCube, yeah.
2 and 3.
No, the first one was too. All of them were on it.
Okay.
Oh, I don't remember the first one. I just remember 2 and 3.
Yeah, the first one, I had a friend that had that one.
Oh, Simpsons Hit and Run? Yeah,
Simpsons Hit and Run, yeah.
Geist, Mega Man, network transmission because Capcom was an ass and didn't put it in the damn Battle Network collection like they should have. I mean, they need to localize Phantasy Star because you can only get it in Japan.
Sonic Heroes. I
Sonic
think that
Heroes.
was slept on.
Yeah, that and
Sonic Heroes was like one of the few good Sonic games from that era.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that one in Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
And let's completely skip over Shadow the Hedgehog. That game doesn't exist.
Yeah, we
don't talk about that. We don't talk about that game.
I didn't waste my time. The SSX series, if EA will allow it.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm looking at stuff now. WarioWare.
Yeah, the WarioWare games were good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What else they got up here?
Now I know like a lot of people like the RE games, the Resident Evil games, but I do want to say
those are already on Switch.
Yeah, they're already on Switch, but like I think one of the issues with that is like when they, especially like RE4, when they send it to Wii, the control scheme is so much better with the remote that I like RE4 on GameCube. It just after you use the Wii remote and use gyro, it's no comparison.
And I know people want to say, well, we have the Joy-Cons. They are not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah.
I love the Switch as much as the next person, but you cannot beat the Wiimote and Chuck. You just can't.
That's why I was hoping they find a way to make it where you can like use the Wii remote and Chuck, because like after going back and playing like Conduit with my Wii remote and Chuck and playing Metroid Prime Trilogy with my Wii remote and Chuck, I cannot. The Joy-Cons just are too small. I have big hands. The Joy-Cons are just too small. They're just too small. I can use them for certain stuff, like when I'm doing like the boxing game and when I'm playing Nintendo Switch Sports, because I'm not really doing like a lot of hard movements. But like even then, even with Nintendo Switch Sports, I would prefer to have the Wii remote. But that's just me. Yeah, but there were a lot of great games on the GameCube.
Yep.
And it's one of those situations where I would love to see an online, but I think a lot of the games that people would actually like to see are actually third party as well. So
that's
like
the
we'll get a good number of games, but I think like the Skies of Arcadia and the RE games that haven't been remade and Beautiful Joe stuff, like Beautiful Joe, that is all you got to work with Capcom. And like I said, Capcom, they have like over 300 titles, and for some reason they won't do nothing with the majority of them
because they're afraid.
Yeah, well, ever since they lost Kami of them, they have not been the same. When Kami of them broke off to do Clover and then Platinum, they have not been the same. They just haven't.
Wow.
Donkey Kong Country Jungle Beat.
How would you pull that off?
With the bongos, though? You got to have the bongos.
Yeah, you got to have the bongos with that.
Well, with the bongos for if you want the actual feel of the game, but you should still be able to play without because of the motion control.
Well, I mean, even with that, because even with the bongos, like even with the motion control, there's still something that's missing. And that's because those bongos had a microphone to where you had to clap for certain things.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So you would have to have the bongos or utilize your phone as the microphone.
Oh, they don't even like chatting with the phone. So
hold on. Okay, I've already posed this. But these same people that don't want to use the Nintendo Switch online service on their phone to chat are fine with hooking up their Nintendo Switch to their phone's Wi-Fi as a hotspot, which is more complicated to do. So they can kiss my ass on that.
I don't understand the logic with a lot of this stuff. I really don't.
It's like it's unintuitive to be able to chat through your phone, which you have with you all the time anyway. But it is completely intuitive to use your phone as a hotspot for Wi-Fi for your Switch instead of the Switch having a damn SIM card slot.
Which I've always found to be hilarious because, like, you ask those same people where they phone at, they lose their mind if it wasn't right next to them.
Exactly.
And
so I don't give a damn about the excuse.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mind using because me and Shadow and me and my nephews have played using the The phone, the Switch Online app, and it for chatting is fine.
It's just fine. It's
It's
fantastic.
fine. As a matter of fact, it's better than what because like I've been on gaming sessions with friends on Xbox and PlayStation, and we wound up having to move to Discord because it kept dropping.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because it sounds muddy.
Yes.
Yeah. And there have been times it straight up drop out, like completely out.
Yep.
Where we're playing and we can't hear each other.
Yep.
So it's yeah. So also now that I think about it, does anybody have like the Dreamcast stuff? Like, why isn't any of the Dreamcast games?
Xbox has some Dreamcast stuff, but not a lot of it.
Yeah, not a lot. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of weird because I was thinking like if you put like the Dreamcast stuff, Dreamcast had a lot of bangers.
I think that generation, and I think we talked about this before, that generation gets really bogged down with licensing. Because there was a lot of it. Because like Crazy Taxi doesn't even feel like Crazy Taxi anymore. Yeah. If you don't play the original.
All the licensed music is out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
can't. That's actually the same problem with Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Radio. Some of the licensed music had to be removed.
Yep. So that's where they got burnt. And I think that even though that generation was the best to me, it still they got beat pretty bad with all that licensing that those games had. You know, so I mean, because you remember if you think about a lot of those games that we know and love, it was something there, music wise or some type of advertisement, something is gonna keep you from playing it. Because even like with Def Jam, we were talking about that. You're gonna have to talk to a lot of what we now consider possible legendary rappers to be a part of that, unless you put some new rappers in there that we don't know nothing about. And
half of we can't believe can win
a fight anyway. Yeah,
I'm not believing some of these people. So no.
But Trinell's right on one of those PNO3, the prequel to Bayonetta.
Yeah. Pretty much. So
that was a game I did sleep on till like right at the end of the GameCube life because I just it wasn't appealing to me. Then I played it and I'm like, dude, this game is awesome.
Yeah, because that was one of Clover's last games before they became platinum.
Yep. Because it was part of what the Nintendo 5.
Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a part of it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but I think that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Thank you, chat, as always, for coming through. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like and all the other good stuff on the video. You know, don't forget to do that for us. Appreciate you. A bit of housekeeping. So I have a couple things to do over the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to be gone. But we're probably going to do something when I get back during the week. So that'll probably be the week of the 26th, I think it is.
Okay.
I think that's the week of the 26th. Because I got a feeling something's going to go down. Yeah, because I think Tokyo Game Show is either next week or the week after.
Okay.
So either that Monday the 26th or sometime that week we'll probably do a Wingin IT podcast light because we won't be around. We won't be live on the 18th or the 25th as I'll be leaving to go somewhere on the 18th. I'll be coming back on the 25th.
Okay.
So just a little bit of housekeeping just to let you guys know. Jack, anything you want to pimp out?
Nothing, man. Honestly, just like, subscribe, spread the word about the show and for everybody's channel. And I appreciate everybody coming out tonight and supporting.
Yep. Thank you guys for showing up. We really do appreciate it. Andre, anything you want to pimp out?
I mean, I don't have anything specific just yet because while during my downtime with the baby being born, I was just scripting out videos. So I'm trying to get my motor going. I am setting up a space for recording and streaming, so hopefully I'll be doing that soon.
Okay.
But right now, at the moment, nothing. And if I do drop anything, it'll just be random. Just check on the channel.
Yep. I'm probably gonna be doing the same. It's probably gonna be random for me the next few weeks. So, like I said, just we will be doing this every Sunday. Oh, well, most Sundays. Also, me and Vicky did do a review for She-Hulk on this week's episode of She-Hulk. We're gonna change up how we do some of our reviews on Sunday mornings, just because we got a lot of stuff coming out. So some stuff is not gonna get weekly; it's gonna get done when the season is over. So
Okay.
some stuff is gonna be weekly, some stuff is gonna be at the end of the season. So just bear with us while we go through that, because we were gonna do Rings of Power, but we just don't have time.
Right.
And we're just gonna do a full review when the season drops. I might do something with a lot of these trailers that dropped for D23, because that Secret Invasion trailer looked good. That Werewolf by Night trailer looked good. I may have to go back and do some do a little something with those. But yeah, thank you guys as always for joining us. We really do appreciate it, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks, give or take.
Peace.
Peace, everybody.